Hello there. I am Jaime Elizondo from Real World Ranching, and today we will discuss ways to save money without hurting our profits. Why is it so important to differentiate between savings that do not hurt your profits and so-called savings that hurt your profits? Have you heard of penny wise and pound foolish? It means that one can get so enthusiastic about saving that one can start losing potential profits. I have a lot of experience with this as I started my own medium-sized business, a cheese and yogurt factory, way back then, to be able to make money to buy my first farm. Learning how to calculate if a dollar can give you much more when wisely invested than if kept in your pocket can be the difference between profits and losses. Sometimes this will be easy and plain to see, but other times not so easy. Today, we are going through the 5 steps to make decisions so you are certain that it is profitable to spend a dollar on something or if it is better to keep it in your pocket. Please remember that grazing livestock is normally a low-margin enterprise, so we need to be very careful with how we manage our money and business. So if you know somebody who is trying to improve their profitability in their operation, maybe they are just starting out, or maybe they have hit a rough patch and they are thinking, how can I make this work? Introduce them to this podcast, please. I know that I can help them. And I would love to help as many ranchers, farmers as possible to build an operation that they absolutely love. Okay, so let's start with step number 1, cash flow versus capital gains. Sometimes we can confuse capital gains with cash flow. And it's very important, as if we do not have cash to pay for expenses, we can go broke. That's the definition of going broke. Not having cash. We need to differentiate capital gains from cash flow. As an example, buying a potload of steers that will take time, maybe 9 months, to get to market and get paid cash, while maintaining our ongoing expenses covered. We may get very good daily gains and profit when we market the steers, but if we do not have actual cash to pay for expenses in the meantime, we are just out of luck. It will be the same as holding your breath for too long. The increasing value of the steers would be the capital gain, and the money in cash you generate in the meantime is the cash flow. That means you either you need to have cash stored or you need to sell some animals to be able to meet your cash needs. Always, always consider cash flow first without losing sight of capital gains. Step number 2, how much will I get in direct return? This means how much short-term money will I make from my investment? As an example, let's think about a 1-wire high tensile electric fencing to build paddocks to further subdivide with temporary fencing. Let's say you invest $2,000, which divided by the 20 years the fence should last is around $200 per year plus interest, maybe $270 per year, which is less than $1 per day. If the investment in the fence saves you much more than $270 in labor costs per year, then it's reasonable to do it because you will have the added benefit of less time spent building temporary fences, which ensures it will get done. Plus, the electric fence will be harder to contain your livestock, as high tensile wire conducts electricity better than poly wire or poly braid. We need to remember that prices of inputs and prices of what we sell can change. So we need to make our numbers every year to know if it's convenient to do something or not. Step number 3, every action or decision we make has an impact on the rest of your business. we need to consider how one action or expense impacts other parts of the farm or ranch. Sometimes, just by spending a little money per cow per day in a minimum amount of a high protein supplement, we can increase our stocking rate to double or more while maintaining good body condition in our livestock. And this is when we use stockpile forages. And with time, if we continue to do it, we will get a much higher stocking rate while we improve our land faster with our livestock. Many cattlemen decide to not do this minimum supplement of protein due to dogma or do not know how to do it properly at a low cost. And they lose as a consequence on the potential savings on hay and improvement of their land, which can be achieved at a much lower cost than with a lower stocking rate or by feeding hay. It is normal to save from $100 to $200 in favor of offering a minimum quantity of a high protein supplement when compared to full hay feeding. By digesting the stockpile forage through the livestock inside, we can recycle the nutrients much better while saving on hay and improve the land much faster if the manure and urine are evenly distributed, like in total grazing. We need to do a marginal analysis in every new enterprise or decision in our business. The same with mowing pastures to create a better lift-to-stem ratio, moving the cows 4 times a day on average to improve their body condition and our soil, and others. We need to treat our ranch or farm as a business which needs to be profitable for success. Step number 4, make sure what you want to buy makes economic sense. This means that it returns more than it costs, especially when you start in your business, before making the decision to spend hard-earned money. If we spend money on a whim or a wish without calculating if it is going to give a good return, and you cannot sustain the cash flow to wait for that return, it may become a problem. Things like a newer truck, newer ATV, a better side-by-side, new equipment, or any other, if they do not give a good return, should be postponed until we have the extra cash to indulge in what we desire. It's not that it's bad, it's only that we need to wait until it's the correct time. Step number 5, consider all the alternatives before spending money in a new project. Many times, we can do a certain project with less money if we lease machinery than if we buy it. Other times, we can wait a little longer, and many times what we thought was so important to do fast can be done cheaper if done slower. I often tell my students when asked about a project, what do you have the most, time or money? My total grazing students know I always ask this question. And then I go and explain. If you need it fast, it will cost you more money, but if you can wait and use biological processes, it will be much cheaper. If you had taken one of my total grazing or adapted genetic selection guidelines online courses, you know that I always point out that changes need to be gradual. Now you know this is one of the many reasons for that. Okay, conclusion and recap. Step number 1, cash flow versus capital gains, which is most important. We need to have both because we need both of them to have a good life. But cash flow always trumps over capital gains. Step 2, how much will I get in direct return? How much money will I get and when? That's important to know before you spend money. Step number 3, every action or decision we make has an impact on the rest of the business. That is so true. Sometimes we may have to feed our cattle to not lose money later on, or we can have like the protein supplement that I explained, or breeding season, and many other things that will have a great impact in the total profitability of your business. Step number 4, make sure there is a good return before making the decision to spend hard-earned money. And step number 5, consider all the alternatives before spending money in something. Sometimes you can get the equipment loaned, leased, or you may buy it used. It depends. Sometimes you can have someone else do it for you and you just pay for the work. And then they make a profit, you get your job done, and you don't invest much money. So there you have it. If you follow these 5 steps, you will be ahead of the herd in making good economic decisions. Never forget why you do things and don't lose sight of your goals. Goodbye. Make sure you subscribe to the podcast in Spotify, iTunes, or YouTube. You can also join us on the weekly email at www.rwranching.com/join. Have a great day.